Hello everyone, welcome to a very, very, very special episode.
Whoa, welcome!
Hi! Why is it special?
Why is it special?
Why is it special?
You tell us.
Yeah, Janine.
We have a little announcement. Oh, I didn't know what to say. But, yeah. So, I am with child.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Thank you. Baby number 2 is on the way, due in summer 2025.
Oh, another summer baby.
Yeah, literally same month as Mikey.
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh, we know your yearly routine now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when they try.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone knows about the Philippines now.
What does it mean to be Filipino British?
British Filipinos, fresh Filipinos. Oh my god, yeah.
The Fobs, I wasn't aware that we have to have those 2 different identities.
3, 2, 1, action.
I just want to have like open chats that are just like naked.
My name is Jem.
I'm Amir.
I'm Janine.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I've had really bad sickness, but apart from that, I'm really excited now.
Good.
Really excited. Excited for like the smells. I'm just so excited to smell him or her. I don't know why, but the smell is unbelievable.
What baby smell?
Yeah.
Oh, they smell just...
I don't know what it is.
It's like you can't even like
just
it's similar
lovely.
to like baby powder, but like not that.
Yeah.
I think we're like wired to love that smell.
Really?
Like humans, I think are... Okay, this is going to sound really morbid. But I think we're like wired to like find them cute and to like their smell so that we don't like kill them.
Oh my
That
God.
makes
I think
sense.
it's like an evolution.
It's like a
That makes
survival
sense.
thing.
Yeah. Like that sounds really morbid, but like I think that's true.
No, it's true because I think even pets, they smell that. Like dogs can smell babies. This is this is not right. I don't know. But I just feel like I've watched videos of like dogs protecting babies.
Yeah.
Because they know it's a
And the
a
first thing
baby.
Yeah.
they do when they
It's like-
see them is,
It's
sniff.
smell,
Yeah,
right?
you get instinct
oh
to
my
like
gosh,
protect.
maybe.
Maybe.
Aw, can't wait.
So tell us about, how it happened.
From the beginning.
Who's the dad?
What? I mean, how do I answer that?
So where was baby made?
I don't know.
Ooh,
It happened in
where?
a very busy month when we were
Very busy, it seems.
traveling a lot.
Oh.
I think because basically I was ovulating just before I came back from Ireland after a wedding, and just after I came back from Ireland after a wedding, and just before I went to Italy for a wedding.
For the wed. Yeah.
So I think it happened in that moment.
in between.
Or it was when we went Saudi. It would have been Saudi.
Oh.
But I think it was then, in that moment after. It was like my last drink was at that Irish wedding. And then I think, and then my period came. And then it was like a new start. And then I think that's when it happened, yeah. When like all the stresses of like all the the year was so busy for me. So I feel like it took a while. But it just seemed to have happened when it did, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to go mad at one of my best friend's weddings like I was able to.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Have you got any cravings lately?
Not really. I mean, I'm just hungry all the time.
This is the best time though. You should eat
Yeah,
everything and
eating
everything.
everything. I mean, I'm kind of. I can't drink water. I can't drink water. I have to put squash in it.
Oh, why? Does
Yeah.
it make you sick?
You were
Yeah.
like that last time.
I was like that last time too. Yeah.
Ooh.
So might be another boy. We're gonna have it a surprise this time. So I'm gonna
Why
find
do you think
out.
it's going to be another boy?
Because I'm getting like the same kind of
Really?
sicknesses and cravings as
You're
I did.
giving me girl.
I think so too, actually.
But I'm always wrong.
Let me just feel.
I felt like it was a boy last time, and I felt like it was a boy this time. So
Yeah, maybe girl. I think girl.
really,
Girl, boy.
Watch the space. I can't believe that you're like, I mean, props, because I do think if you keep it a surprise, I think it's the best surprise in the world that you could have. But I don't think I could wait 9 months to find out whether I'm having a boy or a girl. I don't know why. Yeah.
So you find out at 5 months.
But
well, if you want to, that's the gender scan. And we're just not going to find out.
Great.
We're just going to find out at the birth.
So what are you going to do pre that, like with all of the like baby showers and all of that?
So
Everything's
I'm not planning
great.
a baby shower.
Good. Just overrated joke.
Yeah, like I did it with Mikey and I've experienced it and that's enough for me. I'm happy not to have that. And then we're just going to keep everything neutral, I guess. I mean, there's not much we need to get because we've got lots of stuff already from Mikey's. And if it's a girl, then she's just going to have to deal with a few boyish stuff from the beginning.
Oh, baby G-Dragon.
I'm sure when baby grows up, it will be like the androgynous.
Androgynous.
The androgynous
Oh wait,
era.
Yeah, androgynous.
Androgynous.
I'm feeling it. An androgynous baby shower.
I know.
That would be like great.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love androgynous outfits. I would just take inspo from G-Dragon and then try to make those outfits for your child.
Oh gosh.
My question is, it's not even a question. I just want you to know how amazing you are at being a mother.
Oh my god, stop.
Oh, she's gonna cry.
What the heck?
Because of everything that you are trying to juggle in your life, and you manage to keep everything going still. Plus your business, the podcast, your job, being a wife, being a mum, and now being, do you know what I mean? Like,
I was not prepared.
You need to know that.
Thank you.
How do you keep it up is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That was my question.
How do you do it?
I do it because I have an amazing husband.
Oh.
Who supports me in all my crazy ventures. And is an amazing dad. He's really hands-on. So it really is a partner thing. It's not just me doing it on my own. There's two of us. And I think that's the only way it could be done.
Yeah.
Really, if you've got someone to help you that supports you and loves your baby as much as you do, and you can fully trust them, you know.
That's a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Oh, that's so lovely.
It's crazy because when I got with John, I never thought. I don't know. It's
That
really.
was gonna be a good dad.
You can't tell, right?
No,
How do you tell? Because we never really had friends that had kids that we were around a lot for me to see either. And also, it's always going to be different when it's your own, isn't it? Because it's just like when it's your friend's kid and they're there watching you, you always treat them differently than when you're at home on your own with your baby, you know? So, I'm so glad he turned out to be like the best dad ever. Yeah.
Because it could be a roulette where like they turn the other way, right? Like as soon as you have your first child, they're just not. They don't like that responsibility. They want it. They just leave it, and then they just turn into.
Yeah, and sometimes like some people could be really traditional in the way that like it's the mother role.
It's like a mum's responsibility.
To take, it's their role, and it's up to them. It's down to them, really. There's some people that still are that way, and they're happy being that way, and that's fine. But in this like day and age, if you're the type of person that does want to do more things, I think it's really important to have a really supportive partner.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like. It's very hard to do. I don't know how single mums or single dads do it. It's like props to that man.
Well, big up John.
Yeah. Go Daddy John.
Yeah, but like on a serious note, like single parents that are doing it on their own, raising kids, working, or just doing whatever they're doing, but on their own, all that responsibility 24 hours a day is like crazy.
What is surprising for me, maybe because I don't understand that world, is the fact that people nowadays in this stage and era are choosing to be single parents. Like they'd rather go for IVF,
okay, yeah.
getting donation. Like a lot of females are now wanting to be single mums through donated sperm. I don't understand that myself.
I think it's because they want to have a child, and they just obviously don't have a partner to have the child with.
So it's not a choice kind of thing.
Yeah, like they pick to do it alone than not to do it at all.
Yeah,
because it's doable. It's just so hard. Like, so that's why it's like I feel like amazed by parents that can do it on their own, because like if I imagine doing it without John, like I'd be a bloody wreck. It's so hard, you know, and having someone to be able to 50% stuff with sometimes, or when you're having a bad day and just be like, oh babe, would you mind taking over, or vice versa. Not having that, I can't imagine.
All that responsibility.
Like 24 hours a day. So but then I understand where people that don't have a partner but they really want to have a kid, I understand, like maybe it's just they have that calling and they you know, and they just really want to be a parent, and unfortunately they don't have someone to do it with. I don't know, like what do you think?
I don't think necessarily you need to have two, because like there are a lot of people who grow up without two parents, and I don't know. I think if I didn't have a partner, I think I'd probably consider it, because I think I've always wanted to be a mum at some point. So yeah, I think I'd probably consider it if I didn't have one.
Has it got to do also with trying before you hit a certain age?
Yeah.
So people kind of are like, okay, kind of I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
Forgive me if it sounds insensitive. Like
No,
I'm running out of
not
time.
at all. Not at all.
I need to do it now.
Yeah.
Is that one of the reasoning?
I'm sure it must be.
I think so. Like the reason, so my first baby, Mikey, me and John were engaged and weren't married yet, and we were still living at home with my mum. And the reason why we started trying, I was 28, was because my sister, she's pregnant now. Yay!
Ooh.
Congrats! But she had her first child at 25, and then she's 37 now, and she's only just gotten pregnant again now. And it's really common in my family where they struggle a lot as they get older. As they get to around 30, a lot of them are having fertility problems. And I knew that I really wanted to have a baby, so it was kind of like a conversation between me and John of, is it okay if we start now? I know we're not completely ready, but I'd rather start now and maybe get pregnant at a time we're not ready than risk not being able to later on. So that's kind of
fair.
how it started with me and John, and how Mikey was made. We didn't realise that I'd get pregnant straight away, like the first month trying.
You're fertile.
God was like, definitely
It's time.
yes.
But like even this second time, it did take longer. So I'm glad that we did try when we did. And that was my reasoning. So I can understand, yeah, definitely, women do have a clock ticking.
Yeah.
And you do think about it. We were talking about it yesterday. Like I think it's really scary, because as a woman, if you've never tried before, you don't know if you're going to have a problem or not.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to struggle with fertility issues until you're trying. So yeah, I get that if you think you want a child later on in life, what happens if you're like 35 and you actually find out that you have a lot, like you're going to struggle quite a lot with getting pregnant.
Yeah.
I think that's really scary. So I understand that people are trying before they think they're ready.
Yeah. I think because I was also told that I had PCOS, which also scared me a bit. So
What is PCOS?
it's like polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yeah.
Which is, what does it do?
Well,
Does it like, it's just harder to
I think
have kids, or-
So I think people with PCOS are more likely to struggle with fertility issues. You've basically got a lot of cysts in your ovaries. And Oh God, I haven't done this module in ages, so I'm not. But yeah, it's more likely that you'll struggle with fertility issues if you have it.
So that's probably why it was a shock that at the first try you
Yeah.
were like, oh,
Yeah.
actually I'm fine.
Yeah, and it was actually when we got the test, it went negative first. And we were like, oh, okay, we can book a holiday. And we booked to go to Dubai. And then I looked at the test again later on, and it was positive. And we were like, oh my God. So we went to Dubai. I was really early pregnant, but it was still fun. But, I was not expecting it to be straight away.
Were you trying for this second one?
Yeah.
Because I remember you mentioned that you wanted to try for a second.
Yeah.
Was it a long time before you?
Probably was like, I think it was like around 5 months, 6 months of trying. And, it's obviously really upsetting, but you also think to yourself, like, I should also be grateful I have one.
Mm-hmm.
But then there were times where I was like getting so excited, thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling sick, or I'm feeling some symptom, this must be it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And it is really like sad to think, it's scary to think that, oh, okay, your dreams of like maybe having a bigger family aren't gonna come true. And then when it happened, it was like,
oh,
I was so happy.
Yeah. Baby 2 on the way.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
How about, would you want to open up about any thoughts?
On having kids? Yes, definitely. I think me and Anthony, in the beginning of our relationship, we have always both agreed on wanting a child. That's our very first thing. I think we also said that marriage isn't big, probably because we just didn't think it would affect, as two gay men, like what is really marriage for us other than paper, and how would that affect us? So I think having a child was our main goal. Mm-hmm. But then over time, I think with all the pressures and the people around you that are doing that, especially being around straight couples for us, we thought that, okay, let's do it the right way. But there isn't a right way. Mm-hmm. And we thought, oh, actually, that is like the Catholic way of doing things when you marry and then have kids. So we are trying our best to save up to have a kid. That's our,
oh my God, exciting.
That's our thing. We really want a child. I think but the conversation is like, whose child is it going to be first? Do we just put it both in and then they race in? And it's like
race of the sperm.
But also, like, we kind of want Blasian babies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
So it's hard to then find a donor for each.
So okay, sorry if this is really ignorant, but like, how would that work? So would you consider, because there's would you consider adoption, or would you consider like sperm donation or a surrogate? Like, what options are you?
We've never thought about adoption yet. Mm-hmm. I think definitely that's an option for later on. Mm-hmm. Surrogacy is kind of our main thing. Okay. But what comes with that is, so we have a lesbian couple that got married and now they're trying for a kid. They've saved up so much money and then had donations. But when I say donation, it's literally a sperm bank. Mm-hmm. And then
I just ask you one thing? When you say save so much money, are you able to say like how much roughly this is?
So I think to get to that point where they've tried a couple of times, they're over 25 grand now.
Okay.
So I think the first instance would probably be a sperm donor. Mm-hmm. So you go to a donor bank. So for us, it will be an egg donor. Okay. We'll let them know what we're looking for in terms of, there's a list, like, I don't know, race, the age, job occupation, their passion, hobbies.
Wow, I didn't know it went that deep. Like, hobbies.
It gets really deep, like hobbies, and also like their history. So you'll get all of that list, and then you kind of sort of pick which ones you want to get. And I think per donation, I don't know if this is completely right, but I think it's about 200 to 300 per donor.
And does it differ, the price, depending on who you pick?
No. Okay. It's literally kind of like a vial that has, I don't know with eggs yet, but sperm, obviously there's more.
Okay.
And then it depends how much would actually go for the egg.
So would you pick, for example, if it was your sperm,
Right.
would you then pick like a woman donating a black woman donating an egg?
Right, exactly.
And
but
then
I
if it was
wouldn't need that
Anthony, like
person.
Okay.
So it's just literally their profile.
Okay.
So when that's happened, for a lesbian couple, it's easier for them because they've got somewhere to put it.
Mm-hmm.
For us gays, we need a surrogate to carry it.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's much more expensive, but also finding out from my lesbian friends, they've had to go through a lot of tests, health checks, making sure that they're healthy, and they're making sure that they're eating the right food, basically making sure that everything is right and healthy. Because what's going to happen is the sperm and the egg will be done and then they put it in the surrogate.
Okay, yeah.
Or them. Which then, the problem is, with the lesbian couple friends that I have, hindi siya kumakapit. So it doesn't hold on to...
Yeah.
Why is that? Is
I
there
don't
a
know.
reason? Okay.
I don't
I
think
guess
there's
it's
a
the same
specific-
as... Like, I guess it's the same as when you try and get pregnant, obviously.
it just
like,
doesn't
the sperm
happen.
just doesn't...
It just doesn't
It
happen.
doesn't fertilise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for us, that's kind of like, okay, that's the risks that we need to think about. And our friends, they've tried twice now, spent over 25 grand. So we're like, okay, so if that's us, then obviously for us, the preference is obviously with money, we don't want to bring on someone that's close to our lives to be like, can you be our surrogate? And then obviously have to go through all of that. Then it doesn't work. I just don't want that to kind of ruin a friendship.
Right.
So it's much harder to find a surrogate, especially in a country where I don't know if it's fully legal.
It's not legal. I think this is how it is, that it's not legal to pay someone to be a surrogate,
Yeah.
but you can pay
for their, like
then what
The
their
test,
needs.
they need the 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
I guess, would that
It's like
encompass what they
co-parenting.
eat?
Yeah.
Like,
It
Yeah.
could
that
it
kind
could
of
include
thing.
that, and it could even include accommodation. Like
Yeah.
it depends who what the surrogate wants, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I think that's how it's done. Like as in technically,
Yeah.
instead of saying I'll pay you this amount.
I think that's the
Yeah,
same for most
yeah.
countries.
Is it?
I think in America as well, I don't think you're actually allowed to pay them to have your
To
baby.
have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's more lax
Yeah.
in America, I think. That's why a lot of people go to America to do it.
I found
But it could be cheaper.
someone. I actually came across someone today, completely randomly, and he's a gay man who has a husband, and they got two surrogates from Mexico, because apparently they're from America, but apparently it's way easier because it's actually, he said, it's really difficult in America, and he said they're going to have 2 babies. They've both used a surrogate each.
So 2 separate surrogates and they tried, oh my
Yeah. And he's doing really funny videos where he'd be like pretending to load the dishwasher, and he was testing out names like Phoebe, like pretending to be angry and seeing if it works. It's so funny. But yeah, they're expecting 2 babies, and it was lovely,
wow.
lovely story. Yeah, worked out for them.
Oh my god.
We've thought of options like Sri Lanka, where it's like, I don't know if this is legal, but like I think it's like a whole sort of town/village of women that are happy to carry.
Oh.
But then I just don't know how it works out, where if we've got a donor here, how then do we get that over to them?
Yeah.
Or do we bring them over here
I
as
think
a
you probably
surrogate?
have to bring
Or
them
are
over
they
here.
being the donor too?
Or that. Then also I had a thought about Philippines, but it's not that as an easy conversation to be like, you know, can you carry my child?
Yeah.
So, and the conversation with my dad is like, can you look for someone that will possibly be happy to do that? And I said to him, like, I'm happy for you to be there for the 9 months, because I think he's very open to it. I think that's what he really wants is apo, like a grandchild. So he's very supportive in that sense, but it's just working out all of the logistics of it. Like, okay, so if we go, that's also a conversation of, so Anthony, we're going to go. The donor's going to be Filipino. Would it be yours or mine? Those kind of layers keeps adding on. So, yeah, it's just working out really what we can do with what we have financially right now.
Oh my god, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I didn't know that
That's
you were
still
like,
exciting.
Yeah.
that's so exciting.
But also it's one of those that it's obviously it's now out in the open, whatever, and I'm happy to talk about it, but it was very much, like, I don't know if we want to talk about it, because every time that we do something and there's a certain milestone we want to achieve, when we do open up, it doesn't feel like, okay, so we sort of like jinx it.
Yes, I've true. Oh God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. And but do you know what? I said this that I really believe in jinxing. And then James said to me that what did he say?
What, that you're like manifesting it?
He's like, by you like basically thinking that you're jinxing it, you're manifesting that you're gonna jinx it.
Like James thinks he thinks that you should speak about it like it's gonna happen.
So then since then I've tried to change that mentality because it's always kind of happened where, so even like with What's the Chika, I didn't really want to tell as many people as possible until it started, just because like I was worried it would jinx it.
Yeah.
But I've tried to like just be better and not like think that negatively, because it's basically making it negative.
Right. It's like
yeah. So I don't think that anymore.
And it works.
Yeah.
You're expecting, so maybe yes. So maybe me putting it out there is like
it's like you putting it out to the world and letting God know your plans.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a lovely way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, babies.
What about you,
Yeah,
Janine?
do you want babies?
I do, not now.
Oh, right.
No, I don't want them now. But I don't know. I feel like everyone thinks I want them because I love babies. I love children. Like Mikey is literally like the light of my life. But I don't know. I just don't feel. I think because obviously I went to medical school, which is a very long time. I literally graduated in 2023.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I haven't really lived yet.
Fair.
So I feel like I want to do a bit more of that before I start. But yeah, I feel like I am conscious of the clock because I'm 28 this year. Jokes. I know you guys are older than me.
I hate that there's a clock.
No, because I don't know. I thought when I was younger that I'd be very ready now, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Like maybe another few years.
I feel like though now, in comparison to before, having kids in your 30s is becoming more normal and it's healthy and in comparison to before. But in the Philippines, it's still pretty young, isn't it?
Yeah.
And 30-year-olds, you don't see it as often. Like my sister being pregnant at 37 is like, whoa.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, usually people are having them really young there.
I
feel
23, that age, just like 20s, early 20s.
Oh my god, I couldn't imagine. But like.
But then fair enough, you've like studied for so long that you want to live life.
Definitely.
Like that's.
Yeah, I'll live my life a bit.
Absolutely. I lived life, boy. Too much. So you definitely should. And don't feel like Kourtney, how old was she? Was she like 41 when she just had her last child? Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are having kids.
No,
like,
she's older than that, no?
Her last kid, it was over 40 anyway, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
she's definitely over 40.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about, obviously you have the choice to carry it or pick surrogacy. What are your thoughts about that? Because a lot of celebs would rather
That's true, yeah.
go for surrogacy. Is that an option that you would have in your head?
I have never thought about it. I think I would like to experience carrying. And then I think it's also easier in the sense that I don't have to worry about like what someone else is doing, because I think like I feel like on myself I'd probably be quite strict about the things that I'm eating and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know, I'm not good with relinquishing control, so I feel like that's quite a big thing to like give to someone else.
Yeah.
But I also see why people would consider it, because like I mean I can't speak for women because I've never been pregnant, but I've seen how hard it is sometimes. Like some people have really easy pregnancies, but some people find it really really difficult.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, like it would be great not to have like got all these stretch marks and gone through all the horrible morning sickness and everything. But I wouldn't have changed it. So if I couldn't physically, then yeah, I would consider 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously, if I couldn't, then definitely.
Yeah, but it's not something I do if I could have them. But I can understand why some people would.
It's a controversial question, but do you think that would affect any sort of bond with a child?
I've always thought about this.
Same.
I
don't
think
know
so.
myself. You've experienced having a child as well. You bonded. Do you think it would affect it if?
No. In my mind, no. Because everyone talks about like maybe this bond during the pregnancy, and I get it, but I didn't see Mikey until like a day after he was born.
Oh yeah.
Because he was like transferred to another hospital straight away. I literally didn't see him at all. So he could have been born from someone completely different, I feel. But it's not like when you see them, it's like it's a baby. But I feel like that could have been any baby and you still love them, I feel. Because a baby is just like, how can you not love a baby? Yeah. So in a way, it wasn't like an experience where I saw him come out of me and it was like an initial, oh my God. Because I had that day difference, I guess I experienced it differently. So he could have been born from someone else. And I still would have like loved him if I was told that's my baby.
Right.
Do you know, like if accidentally, for example, he was not my baby and they made a mistake, I wouldn't have known, and I would have still loved that baby.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that if anyone was to say that you won't love them and have a bond if they're through surrogacy or something else.
Because it's still a human connection anyways, whether you're blood or not, isn't it? I agree.
Yeah.
So if we like, how do I word this question? So if you guys were to raise your kids here, would you want them to learn Tagalog?
I saw a post from Filipino something on Instagram that said Filipinos abroad, especially in America, who are living that diaspora now, they regret not learning Filipino. So they want to teach their kids Filipino.
I would want to, for sure.
I definitely would want to. I wouldn't know how to. I think they have to be
I think you just have to speak to them in Tagalog. Like, I think at home, just speak to them in Tagalog and they'll reply back in Tagalog because they'll learn English. If they live here, they'll have to. I think that's how my parents taught me English, because when I moved here, I didn't speak a lick of English. So the reason I speak to them, they speak to me in Tagalog, but I reply in English is because they made me so that I could learn it.
Right.
I think that's very common.
Yeah.
That is very common. But well, my parents, and I want to know why parents don't choose to not teach their kids Tagalog, because my parents never taught me Tagalog.
Sometimes, so Mikey had a bit of a speech today, and so did one of my nieces here. And the first thing they always say to you, they always ask is your kid in a multilingual household? Because if they are, then that's why they've got a speech today. And so that's sometimes why a lot of people might stop.
Oh, it's the disconnect of which language sort of,
And they might, that could be a big factor to why people will stop, because they'd be worried that it might affect them going into school, have that delay. When I was young, I went to Philippines for like 6 months or something when I was like 3 or something, did kindergarten. Came back, my dad spoke to me and I replied in Tagalog. Like, what is this man saying? And then from then, my mum and dad spoke to me English, and I forgot all my Tagalog.
Yeah, I think as kids though, you learn really quickly.
You learn really quick. I feel it's so much harder to learn if you were an adult.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to just get it in there young.
Yeah.
Or
just really want to learn it, I guess.
Yeah.
Be surrounded by it. Like, I don't know.
Is that, sorry to go back, is that why, do you talk to Mike in Tagalog or English, or is it mixed?
In English. It's hard because John doesn't know how to speak Tagalog, but also his dialect is Chavacano.
Yeah. Which is Spanish, no?
It's like
Buenas.
broken Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's broken Spanish.
Which I'd love Mikey to know, but
Yeah,
he
that'd be
doesn't.
so
Or John
nice.
also doesn't really speak it. He understands it fully, and I think it's that thing where when he came over, maybe he always had to speak English too, you know, to learn English. So he kind of lost it, but he understands completely both Tagalog and Chavacano, but just responding, he can't. So it's hard. Like my mum will speak to Mikey in Tagalog. I don't know if he understands.
He'll get to that age.
Yeah.
I think the more you send him back home, the more he'll learn.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the only really way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how I learnt it when I went Philippines during college time for 6 months.
I think you just have to like my Tagalog is so much better when I'm in the Philippines because when you're surrounded by it, it's easier.
Yeah. You're forced to kind of speak the language in terms of like just adapting to the accent and all sorts.
Yeah.
But it's
I
definitely
would
harder
be
to
sad
learn.
if they didn't. I think it's like
I think
really
it's
sad
sad.
not to know how to speak your
mother
mother
tongue.
tongue.
Yeah, I know James finds it quite frustrating. Like he actually wants to learn, but obviously it's very difficult when you're like 30 and trying to learn a different language.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
So if you can start it from young, but like it's difficult. If me and John don't even speak it to each other, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
Would you want him to learn it?
Oh,
at some
yeah, definitely. Because when I couldn't speak it, I hated it. I felt very isolated.
point? Oh, got ya. Yeah.
And
You said.
when I learned how to speak it, I just felt way more like I could include myself and be seen as a Filipino as well.
It's more of an identity as well, isn't it?
Yeah. How did you learn Filipino?
I was forced to because I went to Filipino school.
Okay.
So in Saudi, there's loads of Filipinos. It's like a big community of Filipinos. And when I was there back in the 90s, there was 3 international Philippine schools. So you can imagine how many people actually are there. But that's how I learned because I needed to. And then they added Arabic in the curriculum. I remember, and I thrived because obviously Arabic was my first language.
That's so cool.
Wow.
And English. So then even the alphabet, I was like, I know this. It's like easy for me.
Yeah.
But I think that's where my whole thing of I want to learn Arabic because I think just the identity thing of just going back to.
They say though, if you did know it when you were young, it wouldn't take long for it to come back. It's always there. I think that's why when I was like 16 or whatever, I learned. It's like I relearned Tagalog really easily.
Right.
I went from not knowing. All I knew was like bahal kita. All I knew was that to. No, I'm not fluent, but like I'm way better. Like I can conversate.
Yeah.
Because I think I knew it when I was like really a
Right.
child. Like it is there in the brain somewhere.
It's somewhere, it's still
Yeah.
somewhere. I think I just need to bring it back for sure.
So maybe if you did a few classes, it could spark something.
Yeah, no, I did start Duolingo and it really helped a lot.
Oh, nice.
But then going to Morocco, like, just how quick they were conversating, I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I
different,
know
isn't
that
it?
word, I know, that word, but like not the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And I wish I did because then it feels like it's a confirmation of my identity at the same time. Like I just feel like I say that my first language is Arabic and I don't speak it, so I feel a bit. What's the word when you just don't feel like you're being truthful to yourself or who you are?
It's not
Authentic.
oh yeah.
It's
I
more
don't know.
like it's like when
Not-
you achieved something and then you kind of question yourself, that kind of thing.
What, imposter syndrome?
And
It's
that's
sort of
it,
like an
yeah.
imposter
Okay.
syndrome. So
Yeah.
when I tell my story about, I grew up this and then I done that, Arabic is a first language, I still kind of feel a bit like, okay, this is too big for me to even like try and remember. So that's why I want to learn it.
Did you? No.
No, didn't know any Arabic.
At all.
Not
You
at
don't even
all.
remember being there, right?
I not really. I remember bits of it. I went to a Filipino school as well.
well?
Yeah. Not for very long, probably like a year or something.
Do
But
you remember
no,
what language you spoke when you were there?
Tagalog.
Tagalog,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't speak any Arabic
Wow.
or English, like until I came here.
I wonder if you can be a dual citizen
No.
because you were born in Saudi?
Not in Saudi. I did think about this.
But in the Philippines, UAE, I know I can't. No.
No.
It's really
Really?
no.
I think
no.
Middle Eastern countries, they're not very...
Even though your parents were born in Philippines?
Wait, do you mean the
Wait.
Philippines?
I mean, like, as in you guys.
Oh no, I think I can be. No, yeah, no. My first nationality was Filipino.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm Filipino, yeah. Well, I'm
I mean, like,
dual.
just your passports. Yeah.
I'm dual passport.
Do you have a dual passport right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
I think
good.
my
I
mum
need to
was
get
really
mine.
smart with it when it came to, and this is why I thank my mum so much, because I know you were talking about like being a single parent. My dad didn't really live here for that long, so she had to look after us. She took us from the Philippines, sorted all of that paperwork.
Aww.
Then when we got here, she knew that before I turned 18, I needed to have a dual passport because otherwise... And we started off as independent... I was Filipino passport with...
You were dependent on your mum?
dependent on my mum.
passport.
Yes, I was dependent on my mum as a Filipino passport, but indefinite leave to remain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then we applied for British passport without my dad's.
Okay.
And she literally studied the whole thing,
Aww.
done it, and because we were dependent,
You didn't
me and
have
my
to do
sister
it.
didn't have to do it.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Then when we got the
nice.
British passport, she was like, okay, now we need to reapply for Filipino, so you're dual.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm really
good.
thankful that she done that, all the process before I turned 18.
Yeah.
That was so
Because
good.
it was just much easier for me.
Yeah.
Are you dual?
No, I can be.
Yeah.
I'm
You can
I'm
apply.
going to be. Yeah, I think it's easier for me to get married in the Philippines if I am. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's good.
yeah.
Can you?
I have a Filipino passport. I
Do
got
you?
it. Yeah, I
How
got
do you know
it.
that? Wait, don't you have an Irish one as well?
I can apply for it. I just need to send it off.
Okay.
But I haven't sent off for my. I need to get it signed by a solicitor. But I can get my Irish passport, which I want to get because I promised my dad I would. I have a Filipino one. It's expired right now, but I got it myself. I don't know why, but I I applied for it myself. And the only thing is where you have to be careful is if you go Philippines. I know when you use the Filipino passport, you get you can stay for however long you want. But say if something happened to you, the UK would not help in any way if you use your Filipino passport going in.
To enter.
Yeah.
So you have
Wait.
to exit with Filipino.
What
So
do you
have
mean,
to
like?
enter on your British passport so that you're seen as a British
Okay.
national. So say you got kidnapped.
Oh my
The UK
god.
wouldn't help.
Because they just see you as
this
Filipino.
is such a random fact.
No, I
But,
like that. I didn't know that.
yeah, so
I didn't know that either.
enter on your British passport. I mean, if you go with your mum, they'll give you a year anyway. But if
Oh,
you go
is
on
it?
your own, they'll give you 21
Wait,
days.
why is my mum?
Because you're with someone that was born in the
That was
Philippines.
born.
Oh, but James was born in the Philippines.
So he probably gets a year going in.
Oh, good for him. How that was.
Oh yeah, we're not because
We're
we
not
were
born
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Because they look at where you were born, and but there has been a time where he was like, "Where were you born?" When I got to the thing, I was like, "England." Pero yung nanay ko po taga dito, blah blah blah, and then he gave me a year. But I think it's completely like
Oh my god, you
Up
know
to
what?
them.
Like, I think when I recently went with my mum, because she has a British passport, I think, and she was staying for longer than like a month.
yeah,
It was flagging up as something like she wasn't allowed to
stay over.
she wasn't allowed to get an online boarding pass or something. It was asking for a visa, but then when they checked
Oh.
that she was born there, they were like, "It's fine."
Yeah,
Yeah.
mad, isn't it? Only being able to stay for 21 days in the country you were born in, basically.
Yeah.
But-
The land of my, I always say the land of my birth, and it isn't. But like,
But it is our land.
My homeland.
Yeah.
Where do you see home as? Where is
The
your
Philippines.
That's a good
home?
question.
I say the Philippines.
Do
Like
you?
when I say, like if I'm going to the Philippines, I'm like, oh, I'm going home. Like I'm going home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm.
So is that your home?
But I would probably relate home more to here because I grew up here.
Mm.
But I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
Do you know what's so weird is when we went to the Philippines, I said this to James and I don't think he'd ever thought about it, but I get a lot of comfort from being there and everyone looks like me. Like,
Really?
because I'm not used to it, obviously growing up here,
Yeah.
I said to James, I was like, I actually find it really comforting that I look around and everyone looks like me. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I don't know why, but I've always felt like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard
What
someone say
about
that
you
before.
though, Janine? Because obviously you're biracial.
Yeah.
So having those, I guess, two sides, your Irish side and Filipino side, where do you feel like home is? And you're not even in Ireland or Philippines.
Yeah, so for me, growing up, it was always just me, my mum and dad here. I had a Filipino auntie come here in my teens and an Irish cousin come to live here when I was in my early 20s. So for me, home was never here because I never had anyone here. And then especially when my dad moved to Ireland, and then my mum also moved to Ireland at some point, it was always where my family was. And even though my mum and dad were here, when I went to Ireland and Philippines, they were more home for me than here.
Right. So family is where home is for you.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Ang ganda ng answer niyo.
Diba?
Thank you, judges, for the question. I changed mine to hers. My home is also where my family is.
But it was very difficult growing up like that. Like not ever feeling I was at home and welcomed. So it came with difficulties.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Also, is that a correct term, biracial? Is that rude?
No,
No.
that's
It's
fine.
like two dual. Yeah.
Do you know what? When I was young, it actually used to be called half caste.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw a poem on thingy that was half caste, and I then realised that it's a wrong term.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back then,
really?
it wasn't really seen as bad.
In the Philippines, it's afam.
What? No. You mean Phil Am?
No, it's new.
No, Afam
Then-
is like
A foreigner
Joe.
around Manila.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh
not-
fuck yeah! Basically, everyone kept calling James Afam in the Philippines.
Oh really?
Because they thought he was Korean. Yeah, that's not half. It's foreigner. Sorry.
It's the foreigner. It's the new version of Joe.
Yeah. Huh?
Oh,
Joe.
Joe.
So Philippines, they just call them Joe. Joe was like, because maybe it was an Angeles thing, but obviously Americans stayed in Clark.
yeah.
And they were soldiers, and obviously that's like for them that's like a typical name, Joe.
Common name.
A common name, so they'd call them Joe.
What was it before Afam?
I don't know.
Oh,
Baba.
Americano. Americano.
Cano.
What's that?
It's a shortcut of Americano.
No, but
Cano.
what if they're
Oh,
not?
really?
What if they're not American?
Even I used to be called an American. Oh, look, there's
Now
the
you're
Americana.
Now you're an Afam.
You're in a fam, yeah.
No, because I'm half Filipino.
No, but James is full Filipino and he's still Afam.
Because they look Korean, the brothers,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
A fam.
Wait, how many questions do we have time for?
Where is home for you then?
Yeah, where is home for
Oh,
you?
see, I love that you asked that question before because that was such a running thing in my head as a teenager. Like, where do I actually live? Because I've always kind of moved, constantly moved.
True.
I felt like home, that made me feel like home, like it was more of a feeling with Saudi because I was surrounded
Really?
by, it wasn't blood related, but it was more the people that I grew up around, like aunties that worked there, even like my mum's employers, they felt like family to me. So I thought that as my home for the first 10 years of my life. Then I went to the Philippines and I just didn't feel like I belonged because I felt like different. Although everyone looks like me, I just felt different.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just didn't feel super accepted. So I didn't think it was my home.
Wow. So you felt more at home in Saudi
In
than
Saudi.
in the Philippines.
And I was
Wow.
really excited to leave and come here because of my experience growing up in the Philippines. And when I moved here, I felt more freedom because it's a country where you can express yourself. It's very like, you can be who you are and very into individuality. So when I tried to find my individual self, this is where I found home. But then now I remember my identity as a Filipino, and I would always say home is the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, all of them are home to me, depending on what home is.
Yeah.
If it's like a feeling, then Saudi. If it's more like where family is, then it's Philippines. But if it's where my love is, it's here.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Do you know what I mean?
poetic.
Well,
That was lovely.
Diva! And I thank you. Yeah.
Aww.
We have to wrap up.
Well, that wraps up
Ooh.
our lovely, wholesome conversation.
Oh, congrats again.
Congratulations and hello, baby.
Yeah, hello, baby. Can't wait.
We can't wait to meet you. Oh my gosh, you should bring your children in.
Oh my
Oh my
for
gosh,
an
yes.
episode.
That would be absolute chaos.
It would be hilarious.
That would be yes. I
And
think that would
watch
be
me
great.
sweat.
Do you know when we should bring them? When we release whatever we spoke about. That product that we're going to release.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
This really is okay. We'll talk about it more.
Yeah,
I think we should,
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely think so.
I think that's a good idea.
Brilliant idea.
brilliant. And speaking on ventures, we're gonna end with our
Entrepinoy,
Yes.
Entrepinoy.
Plural Studios, they've got...
Where are they based?
They are based in Angel in London.
Oh.
You can find them here. Ding!
Yay. We went sync.
The studio.
Yay! Okay.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
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 Perfect.
Yay,
Bang on
perfect,
time.
guys.